What is up, everybody? It's Joe from JLW Games, coming at you with another cool live stream slash video, and today we are back in Planet Coaster in Westwood, of course, and look at this beauty. Of course, a lot of people have been asking about the dark ride. You know, a lot of people are like, you gonna finish the dark ride? Are you gonna finish the dark ride? Are you gonna go back to the dark ride? And, yeah, we are. And, I thought I would go in and go ahead and pretty much just focus this episode on it. Because I've been neglecting it. I'll admit it, I've been neglecting it. And here we are, we're back into it. So, we're back. And what I'm going to start off with is actually something that I think I've been wanting to do for a while. And that is actually to go in here. And we're just going to raise the terrain, and I want this to actually be a true dark ride. And to do that, you have to enclose it inside terrain, which is quite interesting. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna do our best to enclose this entire thing in the terrain. That way, during the day, it will actually be dark. We're going to shape this up. This is going to be kind of a challenge, one of the challenging things to do here. Now, I've tested this before I actually did this, but it's going to be a challenge because we're going to have to go back in and actually kind of rearrange the terrain and push and pull throughout the ride, because it's going to get into, that terrain's going to get in spots that we don't want it to get into, if that makes sense. So we're going to have to go in, and we can actually use it a lot to our advantage as well, being kind of a canyon kind of theme to it. So we're going to be able to use the terrain in the theme. As you can see, it's already starting to get darker in there. I can see that. So we're not going to have it this high up, or the terrain this high up. I'm just getting this covered up. I can probably use a larger brush, but we're just going to get this kind of going in here. So that's going to be the goal, is to get this enclosed. As you can see how dark it already is starting to get in there, I can see that, which is actually pretty darn awesome. So we're going to get in here, and I'm probably going to do a little bit in the queue line as well, but we're going to mainly be focusing on the ride itself. So if we go in here, we can see that it's actually dark in here, even though it is light outside. That's kind of the effect that we wanted to have. And the only way to do that is to actually enclose it in terrain. That's how you have to make dark rides. So it's kind of a very weird thing to do, because you have to have the terrain completely around this building. Now the weird part is we're gonna I want to make it still look like a building, so that's gonna be the tricky part here. And to do that, I'm going to literally have to make another building around this, the terrain itself, and it's kind of, surrounded by pathways, so it's going to be a little bit tough. So what we're going to be doing is I'm going to use the flatten. We're going to make the entire top piece here. I want to make sure this is all flat at the top and at the same level here. So it looks like it will look like a nice building. Okay, what are we doing? There we go. Because in the end, this is going to look beautiful, and that's going to be our goal here. So we're enclosing this in terrain again, and so we're going to have to go back through and kind of adjust everything. Otherwise, things are going to get a little bit weird. So we're going to go in here. I'm going to smooth the sides out. It doesn't have to be 100% perfect, but it's got to be pretty good. So we're going to keep that in mind here. So push this. That's the thing I don't want it to do, so we'll not do that. So let's smooth this out, because we're going to be putting a wall that will go all the way around here. So what we're gonna have to do here is really adjust this. I want to push this as far as I can before we hit that wall. Alright, so we can actually get that pretty far. I want this all smoothed out to my liking. Looking good. Alright, so again, this doesn't have to be completely like square, perfect looking. That's not going to be the goal here. The goal is here to get this kind of enclosed enough to where we get that dark effect during the daytime. But at the same time, I want to make sure it looks like a regular building from the outside as well. Alright, so we're going pretty good here, and this is actually going further in than I thought it would actually. So that's a plus. Alright, I want to make sure this is super flat on top. Alright, we're starting to shape up here. Then after we kind of get the exterior look that we want here, we're gonna go into the inside, and we're going to adjust the terrain from the inside because this terrain is gonna be everywhere. That's the thing. So we're gonna have to go in here, kind of with the flying camera, and we're just gonna come through here and see how everything looks because it's very important. I think I'm gonna keep the roof actually kind of like this cave look to it. So it actually looks pretty cool. We need to push this up here. Let's turn the intensity down just a little bit because I don't want it to push too much to where it's gonna go crazy. So we're just gonna push it a little bit. Let's see where that is. All right. So we're gonna go into the first room, and I almost, I had the walls up, but I almost like the look better, actually with the terrain, rocky textures here, over here. But I am going to have to raise it up to a certain point. That way, obviously our buildings here that are in the scene actually show up. Kind of like so. Alright, so that's going to be like that. Alright, we got to shape this where we need to be. Alright, I want that like so. Alright, our building's still coming through, so that is good. And that looks pretty darn good right there. We get to the next room. This is kind of be that one room like this. So we're going to go in here. And I think this one's all right because we already have the rocks on top and everything like that. So this one will probably be okay because I don't think we can really do anything yet. So this one will be fine. That scene's fine. This one's gonna be that interesting part right here because this is kind of weird here. So we want to try and fix this. Well, maybe I want to. It's okay if we have some terrain here. That will be all right. We just got to go through each room and kind of make sure everything's what it needs to be, kind of. And then we have to go back and pretty much adjust everything. So this is going to be interesting. We're going to have to get this scene, because this is the big scene here. Probably the largest scene that will be in the dark ride. So we're going to have to raise this up so we can see this entire scene play out. Like so. So let's get this up. And then after we do this, we're going to have to see how much we affected the exterior as well. So we want to make sure we don't affect that too much. Hear all our fun little sounds here. As you can see, there is some light still coming through. That is going to probably happen. Not much we can do there, but I'm going to do my best to try and enclose this as best as I can. Because we want to try and make sure that is as absent as possible to get rid of that light during the daytime. Alright, so we might have to raise the top here just a bit because we have gone through the roof now. So let's enclose you there, and then flatten. And looks like it's actually gonna go taller here. So actually, I just want to do this. There we go. Alright, so we're gonna get back in there. And after we get all this done, we're gonna go ahead and make the exterior look good as well. So this first room's looking pretty good. This first scene. Then we go into here, into the little tunnel. We're gonna obviously do something about this when we can. Alright, so you're gonna come through here, and that enclosed it again, or put everything down on top of it again. How dare it. Alright, so hopefully we're a little bit, oh gosh, tall enough now to where we can actually get this where we need it to be without it going through the roof this time, the top. Because it is, I did make it taller, I thought. At least I thought I did. Alright, so we're going to get this up here. I think it's going to be pretty good. We don't have to go too tall, but we want to get tall enough to where you can see everything on the buildings here. So that looks pretty darn good right there. Then you're going to go up this little tunnel as well. And then this is the latest scene that we created that we're going to have to adjust here as well. Since the terrain just went all over it, and it's the flooding room, as I like to call it. Kind of like the flooding room with all the water just splashing everywhere. Where are we here? Alright, so you can see I just saw a lot of light get through, which is not cool. Alright, so what I'm going to do here, that's looking alright, so let's go over here, and I'm actually going to plug this little hole up here, since we do have a hole. I'm going to go into the rocks, and we're going to literally pretty much get this all patched up here, so that's not present. Excellent. And that will resolve that. Alright, so we gotta fix these. So I need to pull this just a little bit there. And that will be good. Alright, now I'm gonna go to building. Let's edit the building. And I'm going to put some signs over here, just for fun. So we're going to go to themed signs, because we want kind of like that old beat up kind of look to it. Warning, let's just say flooding ahead. And just like some random just like, yeah, these beat up signs. My headset's still crackling. I remember I had this issue on my last live stream. It's really weird. Like, it does not crackle. My headset doesn't crackle at all until I start live streaming. I don't understand it at all. It's very, very weird. So let's say, hope you can swim. Always a letter short. Always a letter short. Let's see. I could always add 2 signs, but let's see. I don't know what to say on this sign. Let's see. Let's just put bandits ahead. Yeah. Alright, that looks good. And then this room will be pretty much complete. I mean, there's not much to do here. There is a hole there. That's kind of interesting. So I guess maybe I can, if I can find where the wall is. It's like so hard while you're in the flying camera like this. The wall is like a miles away from where I'm actually going here. That's not cool, man. Alright, so let me Control D. There it is. Grid size and grid height. We'll put that down. There you go. Almost there. Don't go anywhere. There you go. Put that there. There we go. That's filled. Now, for this part, I kind of wanted to give it a kind of a mining kind of feel to it. Since we are in the mining section of the park, I feel like that is quite necessary to have kind of like a mining feel in somewhat of this, because it is in the mining section. It is kind of a not too much of a mining. It has the mining storyline to it, but not like completely. Alright, I hate doing this in the flying camera. Alright, you're not even allowing me to change the height. You're turning red. What are you doing? I can't change the height of this. There we go. It's the best I got. Oh my gosh, rotating's a nightmare sometimes when you're at the incorrect angle. Alright, so that's always gonna be awkward. Alright, I don't understand my headset. Why are we crackling? It's kind of strange because it does not do it when I'm not streaming, but it does it as soon as I start live streaming. My headset just starts crackling, and it's very, like, I don't know, it's just a frustrating kind of sound for some reason. Like, it's just when sound's coming through, and I don't know why it's doing it. It's very weird. It's just like, why are we crackling? Alright, we'll put another one more over here. I'll just use the advanced move tool. I love how I use the advanced move tool and it instantly goes to red. Like, no, you're not going to put that there. I won't allow it. Alright, so this gives it just that little bit of mine spot to the ride. Just a little bit. I feel like we need to add a lot more throughout these scenes, but by no means, there's a lot more to do, obviously. Like, I gotta fill in all these sections here with something, that way it doesn't look like the way it is, because it's just not, it's definitely not perfect yet. Not to my liking. Alright, so I'm going to go back to this building. And we're going to kind of work on, get some like wooden planks kind of here to give it more of that feel of this might not be the greatest place to be walking around or driving around. So we're just going to put some of these in here. Kind of like it's run down wall right here. And we're just going to place these kind of randomly throughout here. And the bandits better beware. Just watch out for those bandits. flooding ahead. Hopefully you can see that with your own. You'll be able to see that with your own eyes, because it is obviously flooding in here. Just a bit. With all the water just splashing everywhere. It's gonna be a really cool effect, hopefully. And it's very light in here, so I need to figure out why that is. And maybe we can add maybe just more terrain to the top of this, and maybe that will help darken it up. I'm not entirely sure, but it could help quite a bit, but we'll see. Alright, so now what we're gonna do, so I'm gonna head to the terrain. I'm gonna tune down the size here, and I kind of want to see if I can't pull this in. Might not let me completely. Yeah, probably not. So you're gonna do that to me, alright. No problem, man, no problem. So let's get into this. I'm gonna need some smaller pieces. And I know I probably did not build this dark ride the easiest way, I can tell you that right now. Don't take tips from me when building dark rides, because I'm still kind of learning myself. I'm not great at it, not even close. Alright, that's that level. Because I probably should have done all this first before enclosing anything, and that's probably the truth. But I thought it would just be kind of easier to figure out at first, but boy was it, I was probably wrong. Using the flying camera is always a pain itself, just trying to get this where you want, everything where you need it. Because now we have to go through here and just kind of get rid of all those noticeable spots that are just kind of popping out there going, that shouldn't be like that. That's gonna be one thing that we're gonna have to work on here. Just like this spot with the walls. We have to fix that. And we will. We just got to believe in ourselves and just do it. And because placing things are very hard to do while in this kind of view. Everything's just very touchy. The slightest move just like makes it move like 50 miles in one direction, and it's pretty crazy sometimes. So we're just gonna rotate these, try and make them look different. I don't even know what it's doing to the other side. I don't know if there is another other side there. So I thought it made kind of a U-turn. I don't remember. Where am I even building, right? Why am I supposed to know these things? Or how am I supposed to know these things? My goal was to have kind of like a very dark section, almost like a pitch black dark section. See, it like gets lost if you make the wrong movement when placing this stuff down. There we go. All right, it's back to this way. I don't know what happened, what I did with my voice there, but it was kind of weird. Man, this when you're building like in some, you know, boring sections like this, it does get kind of like, I feel like this gets longer, or the track got longer going this way. It's like, why did that have to happen? A little bit, it was a little bit too far there. Alright, get back over here. And I did not push that button, even though it said I did. That time I did on purpose, but Last time I didn't. Alright, I don't want to see that ugly wall again. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. We still have to do the other side. That moment when you realize you thought you did something right, but you did everything very, very wrong. Alright, we're just gonna go one section at a time here. Sensitivity on this thing just gets ridiculous when you're in, like, this view. You just gotta know how to place it, and obviously I don't. Or you just gotta kind of move angles and hope that it doesn't, like, I'm barely even moving my mouse and it moves like a mile away. Okay. Another idea is just to use the advanced move tool, but not everything's gonna be straight and it's gonna be hard to place. It is almost easier just to kind of place everything like you normally would. See, it just, like, I don't know why it goes, like, behind my screen. Why would I don't know. I don't know, man. Here, these might be easier to place down, and they take up a lot more space, so. I hate that delayed placement sometimes. It gets ridiculous. Where are you going? Why is this behind my camera? That should not ever be the case. No, don't go down, go up. Yeah, I made a big mistake, but it's too late now. It was too late a long time ago. Joe messed it up. Of course he did. Why wouldn't he? I wonder if a line to surface might actually help a lot, because then it wouldn't be able to go through. That actually might be a brilliant idea. See, I got something going on right here. Something that's actually working quite well. Look at that. That was simple. Yeah. Alright, we're going around the curve here. Turning around. Placing more. Let's just do a line to surface and see what happens. Yeah, that's what I thought. It's gonna line it to the surface. That's wrong. The wrong way. It's gonna line it to the wrong way. And that's not what we want. Oh my gosh. Yep. I definitely made a mistake. I know I probably could just literally just take the roof off or lower the terrain and then work from there and take care of this that way. I know I probably could. It'd probably be a little bit simpler, but I don't really want to. I want to first see if I can do this by myself. But that's obviously has been very, very interesting so far. Alright, we're going to do this. See, the goal is just to not have the walls showing, because it's just kind of icky looking. Because we just want that kind of like the cave feel to it. So we're covering up the wall. Don't ask why. I probably should have just not had it in the first place. Oh my gosh. Controls. Controls. Work with me here. I hope this dark ride turns out somewhat decent. I'm just right now we're just patching up the end of the ride here with like the general stuff, and hopefully we'll improve that there. So we're at the end here. I should be able to go into terrain. See, I'm on pull. Yes. I should have terrain on the other side here to be, that should be over here. Maybe? Maybe it's because my intensity is kind of low. And the size is a little bit... Oh gosh. Probably because it doesn't want to go too close to the track. That's gonna be my ultimate guess. Alright, so we'll do this. Yeah, that's what I thought. That's why I don't do that. Let's see, if I align to surface, yeah, it does it the wrong way. I want it flat. That is what I want. I just want everything to be flat. I'm gonna have to go back to scenery to get this the way I wanted to. Alright. Okay, it still didn't do it. It did better. How come everything's obstructed? I don't agree at all. Something about the rocks being too close to the track. Of course. Alright, let's get you over here. And I'm just going to continue to use the advanced move tool because it seems to be the easiest way to do this at the moment. I just need you to cover up what I need you to cover up. So I'm going to pull you out of here. Alright, I'm trying to push the red. I want the red. Wow, that pushed it over a lot more than I thought it would. How are we doing over here? Alright, that's all covered. Oh, we still have all this wall over here, too. So disappointed. Disappointed. Wait a minute. I'm not done with this yet. Disappointed. Am I right? Oh my. Alright, with this, at this rate, it won't take too long. And why did I do this way? Why am I continuing to do this way? A lot of people are probably asking. Because I like to do things the hard way, of course. Probably if I had my choice though, I probably would have redone this completely almost. And build it in a different way. Because I'm not entirely proud of how this turned out so far. I feel like I could have done better on this. Like, I've seen dark rides, or some of the dark rides people have done and posted to the Steam Workshop. My stuff this doesn't even compare to that stuff. And it's just like, I wish I had the amount of skill for dark rides sometimes, because everyone's always begging for dark rides. They're like, you need to do a dark ride in this park and stuff, and I'm like, I'm not even good at it. I mean, from the very get-go, I was planning on having a dark ride in this park. They're just so complex and hard to do. But if you do it correctly, it could end up being so good. See, my goal is to make it a lot darker in here. It's not dark enough. And even though the terrain is covering it, it still has light shining through somewhere. And that is a bad thing. Because we're not here to see the light. Alright, and then it should have a final turn back into the station here. Alright, I'm gonna go out of here for a second. And try and figure out why everything is still very light. Is there any holes on the outside? No. There is not. If I do this, I feel like it's gonna enclose that one spot again. And I don't want it to do that. Like, I don't want it to. Oh gosh. Still lagging out. Still completely lagging out. Okay. That looks pretty good coming in this way. We're still pretty good coming in here. We come through here and we're just gonna lose our heads because these rocks are planted so low. Like, seriously. These are way too low. Hopefully I can raise these without any issues. Like, come on. These are more obstructed than some of the stuff it says is obstructed. Am I right? I think I'm right. Still pretty low, but not much we can really do about this. Then you're going to come through here and you're going to see just the utter destruction that the bandits have done here. And it's looking pretty cool right through here. It's pretty dark, and then it's just, I don't know why it's so bright right here. Like, it's just light. And we don't want the light. That is something we don't want in our dark ride. I want nothing but darkness. That's what we want, is the dark. Alright, so there's this scene. And then we go through kind of like this mine spot. And yeah. And there's a hole here. Maybe that's why. Maybe, just maybe, we have to fill in this hole. The hole that it probably will not let us fill. And by dandy, it's not gonna let us. And this could be responsible for some light. But just why won't you let me fill you up? It's not gonna let me fill it. I mean, I could put rocks there, but that's not gonna help from light. From the light shining through. Bandits ahead, and they are wanted. Okay, so that's how that looks. And let me click on this. And this. And we can approximately see where we can start placing some walls down. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to place these all the way around. My gosh, the terrain's ridiculous right there. I'll go ahead and place this one more further here. The terrain changes there, but that will be alright. And I'm going to make kind of this outline. I hope this fits. I don't want it intersecting the path. It's okay if we have a little bit of different shaping here. Not gonna do nothing. It'll be just fine. Because you gotta keep in mind there's probably some back areas, and if this was real as well. Like maintenance areas and stuff like that inside the building. Because that would be a thing. Alright, so I'm going to... Let's see, we probably can't go further than that. Alright, we've almost made it all the way around. Alright, that will be okie dokie right there. Alright, now the easiest way to do this is we're just going to select each and every piece that we just placed down. And we're just going to copy it and raise it up over the terrained area. Now granted, the terrain is still not perfect and there's still some light spots in there, but I don't know how to do or what I'm supposed to do about that. Because I'm so bad at building dark rides. I've also been, you know, half tempted to start this over. Oh my gosh, I didn't even click Control D. You gotta be kidding. Nope, it's not kidding. It's gonna make me do that all again. Stop crackling, please, you darn thing. Alright, I could kind of do it this way. Nope, I can't because it's gonna select stuff on the inside as well. There you go. There you go. No, but I have actually had thoughts of redoing this kind of, not completely destroying everything that was in the dark ride, just kind of remodeling the building sections from the ground up a little bit, because the building is just kind of off. I'm not feeling the building very well, like getting rid of all the walls in the that are inside here in the first place, like these that don't actually really go with it. And using natural terrain, I should have just used terrain for the whole thing. And that would have enclosed it and made it dark. In fact, I'd hate to delete like all the progress that I have. That's the last thing I want to do, to be honest. So I'm just trying to figure out what I'm going to do here. Because I love the dark ride concept. I like it so much, but it's just not there for me, and I feel like it's a weak point in this park because I'm not good at making dark rides. You know, like when I say I want to kind of redo it, I want to keep like all the scenes that I've done already and things like that. I just need to redo some certain sections properly to make it better, because it's not to my standard yet. It's just not there. And that's why I've neglected this so far to this point, because I've been trying to figure out exactly what I want to do with this. Because it's obviously got to fit in this section. And the live stream is lagging out like crazy, of course. And I wish my headset would stop crackling. I don't know why it keeps crackling. I'm just going to take it off because it's bugging me that much. So, man, what do I want to do? I think I'm going to... Let's go ahead and get rid of the terrain. This will make things easier. I should have done this right off the bat. But we're going to flatten to foundation. I'm going to get rid of all this terrain right here that we just covered it up with. Because we probably should have that lowered for right now. That way we can go in here and just kind of fix everything. And this is what I should have done on this to begin with. And it'll make things a lot easier in the end for just building wise. Because literally, I don't need all these walls here. Like, I need to delete some of these walls. Like all these. I don't need these. Because I'm going to separate them by either the terrain or just rocks in general. And we can delete just everything that we don't need here. That's going to be the point. So, we're going to kind of work around this. Make the size a little bit different. Turn the intensity down just a bit. And I'm going to raise this up like a wall with the terrain here. And we're going to raise this up over this part at the moment. And I think this will be a lot easier, because then we can create what we need to do. And just kind of like, this will be so much better than what I was doing a moment ago. We just need to, okay, there we go. We need to pull this around, and we're just going to pull this around each section of the track. Like I'm going to start from right here. And we're going to pull it over the track here. In a sense. In other words, we're just going to be shaping the terrain around the tracks and go from there. So I'm going to pull this all the way over here. And this will be the outside. So as long as I stay within the wall barrier, we'll be fine. Let me turn the intensity up because I'm impatient. We're going to connect these two pieces together as well. Well, you know what? I'm so bad at that because I'm like lying. Keep lying here. I lied again. We're going to continue with this. So we're going to continue build this, connect these pieces together, except I don't want you to do that. And then the easy way is to just do this. Boom. You got to connect these together, of course. And it always comes up with these weird formations that I don't want. I'm just like, no. I'm like, don't do that. Keep it simple. So I want this to be kind of closed in as much as possible here. because I want it to come through the wall here. Not like that. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Just get in. Let's get in here. Alright, this plan's not going as well as I hoped as well. Which kind of sucks. Huh. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad at this. I wish I could build dark rides properly. Man, I'm thinking about doing something, but I really don't want to do it. I'm thinking about deleting it completely. I know how terrible that sounds. I just don't know what to do with this because I've messed it up so much. And then again, this is why I've neglected it so long, because I'm not good at building dark rides. It absolutely breaks my heart. But I have an idea, or another idea. We'll see how this goes. I really don't want to just tear down everything. I really don't want to do that. Like, trust me. It's the last thing I want to do. I kind of want to go in and just delete the unnecessary things. Like a lot of these walls. I almost want to delete the entire building, but just besides the walls. Or, like, besides the scenery and stuff. I want to keep, like, the scenes and stuff like that. That's the stuff I want to keep. There's just a lot of stuff in here that I just need to delete and get out of here that is unneeded. Because a lot of this is going to be... I can just use the terrain and it will make things 10 times easier, to be honest. So I'm just going to go in here... I really just want to delete all this right here. Alright, you selected it. I guess those aren't a part of the wall. Good to know. And it's mainly this, this last section of track that I don't know what to do. I'm struggling with because I don't know what to do. But let's see. I'm just going to delete the walls here. I probably could get rid of the floor too. Or the ground. Maybe not, actually. I'll keep the ground. I will keep the ground. I think we could use that, because I think the terrain doesn't, come completely, level with the tracks. It actually always keeps a gap there, which is something we don't want to have. So we'll keep that in mind. Let's delete more of these walls here. I'm just tired of the walls being in my way. Because we don't need them. So we're just going to delete these. Because we're mostly just going to try and use the terrain. And we'll use the walls. And I should have done this a long time ago, to be honest. But from the very get-go, I probably should have just been focusing on using the terrain. But I thought that enclosing, walls together and stuff would actually make it dark, because I was told that. And that was incorrect information. So it has to be inside terrain to actually end up being dark. Which is nice to know now. for future references. So I'm gonna go in here and delete most of the walls here, pretty much for almost all the ride, if not all of it, but a lot of it. Because I feel like a lot of me is just, I'm trying to cover up the walls, and that's the main part with all these rocks and stuff, is that I'm just trying to cover up, you know, the walls that aren't supposed to be there in the first place. It's like, well, why do I even have the walls in the first place if I'm not going to use them? If that makes sense. Some of them I will keep, though. I feel like they will be necessary for some parts of the ride. Alright, let's try this again. We're just going to pull this up. Pull this all over. It'll probably be the easiest to do. At least this part of the ride is what I wanted to focus on. We can get this going where we want. Yeah, this will be a lot better in the end for us. So I think it will definitely improve, for the most part, the entire ride experience. But, of course, we're going to have to go back and see how everything ends up turning out, of course. Alright, see everything darkening up there, so let's make sure all of this is connected. Because it didn't actually connect everything, it just kind of built it over, and we don't want that. We actually want to build this to be all enclosed. Alright, we're gonna go inside here and we're gonna try this again. Alright, so what we're going to need to do is we're going to push this up. Turn the intensity down just a bit. Just a pinch. We're going to lag out a little bit, it looks like. Alright, and I don't mind this wall being there as much. So that one will be okay. Alright, that's looking pretty good there. And we come to this spot, which is fine. And then this is just kind of awkward. So I'm going to have to get rid of that. And here comes the fun part. We're going to have to get this all out of here because it's all in our way. And blocking our view of our scene, which we don't want to block. And yay, it wasn't tall enough, so we're going to have to make this taller. And we're going to have to probably redo everything we just did, most likely. Since this is going to have to be taller. Yay. Because it'll probably relocate all of that terrain and put it right back down there. Just by doing this. So, in other words, we didn't make, probably didn't make any progress Because we're probably going to have to go back in here and readjust this. Okay, it's not too bad. But we still have to push that up. Alright, pull you out of here just to cover that wall. Alright, that's coming around over here now. And wouldn't you guess it, it did it again. I just need to see my scene here. It's the main thing. Don't have to have all the roof showing here. I'll be alright. Around right there. See, there's a lot of light coming through here, and I don't like that. And then over here. Alright, it kept it dark for the most part over here. I'm gonna have to push this further so we can get our scene showing. And I did not create enough over here, though. Smooth you out. Pull. No. Push. Now to get back in, I'm gonna have to go through the front. Can't go through. Can't just fly through terrain. You gotta actually go in and fly through it. It's like, what the crap is this? But it's looking better. Alright, so we were in this room. Alright, so we're just gonna... Oh, come on. Really? No. Just close it up. And we'll push it as far as we can, which apparently is not very far. Because it's still not dark in here. Which still confuses the crap out of me a little bit. Alright, this actually looks pretty cool right there. Then we have the rest of the ride, which does go in here. Oh, okay. Please close that up. There we go. And through here, I don't know why the stream is so laggy. YouTube, fix your stuff, man. Alright, so we're gonna go in and edit. And we'll just do one wall at a time because I know how it likes to be sometimes. So we're going to get this as tall as possible, or as tall as we need it. We'll go one more here. Goody, goody, goody. So we're just going to do the same thing on this side. And hopefully it will turn out. That's going to be the goal here, is to get this to work properly. like maybe one more. I know for some reason that this is gonna turn out to be not even in certain spots, most likely, because it doesn't want to be nice to me. Okay, that hole should not still be there. There we go. Good enough. Am I right? Excuse me. Alright, we're gonna go ahead and put the flat roofs on. We're going to use the rough concrete. And see how this goes. One little piece at a time. Alright, that's alright. Because I can just do that, and do that, and do that. And do that. And, we will get this roof perfect. I can promise you that. Right there. And let's get these two pieces connected. As we are there. Okay. My goodness. My goodness. Alright. I believe we're all covered except for the front is just has to be adjusted just a bit more, but for the most part, it's good. Whoops. Alright, we're gonna build this up to the top. To the top. There we go. I didn't press Control D. Why did that do that? I just want to click the middle piece too. Why was that so hard? Who knows? But I got it. And we're one piece there. There we go. Alright. I mainly just need to get this back part now. And we'll, for the most part, be done with this right here. Oh, of course I would still have that selected. Why would you do this to me, game? I do that probably more than any other person alive. I would not doubt it. I probably could just select and drag, but knowing my luck, I wouldn't do that properly. Oh gosh, I almost pushed the wrong button. I was about to freak out. I'm like, if I have to do that all over again for the third time. There we go. Alright, continuing on. This is a huge building. But of course it is. It's a dark ride, so it has to be pretty large, right? I wish YouTube would sometimes make up its mind if it wants my streams to go smooth or not smooth. Sometimes I don't think it really cares. Sometimes it's just like, nope, I'm not going to make the live stream smooth for your viewers. And then sometimes it's just like, yeah, we're gonna have a nice live stream with no lag. And I'm just like, why can't you do that all the time? Why is stuff still selected? I didn't want that. No. Oh my goodness. And I hate how it like completely rotates something when I'm trying to just move stuff up. I don't know why that is. Or gets stuck in the shift key somehow gets stuck. I have found that glitch as well, unless my keyboard is just glitched out. Which I doubt, but you never know. Alright, that building looks even bigger now. Now that I had to put it even further on the outside, so. Alright, so let's save and see what happens. Alright. And now it's time to fill her in. In other words, I'm just going to place some trees around the train tracks here to fill up all this empty space. Because, let's face it, the middle parts of this park is pretty much the only spots that are still empty, is right here in the center where the dark ride actually is. And I'm sure a lot of people are probably wondering, are you going to add more scenes or props to the dark ride? I probably should, and I probably will, but I'm not sure at this point, because I'm still very unsatisfied with the dark ride so far. But I just don't know how to make it better without kind of starting over on the dark ride. Which kind of frustrates me, because it has potential. It just needs polishing and good care. And I'm not good at figuring things out sometimes. Which is also frustrating sometimes. It's like, what do I do? How do I do everything? Alright, let's connect this. This path's been sitting here forever without being connected, so we're going to change that up. Kind of want to put it on the end there, like so. That way it has something to connect to. And then we can go to this. See how this turns out. The exit to the train station. Alright, we got to finish this bridge over here with all this, which is gonna still take some time, and it's like, that's all I've gotten done with those wooden planks. It's like, come on, man. Everything's like so slow-paced. Alright, so I'm just going to fill in some more gaps here with some trees. It's always a very good, simple thing to make things look a little bit more complete. Just add some trees around some certain areas. And we'll start looking a little bit more fuller and complete, especially for this kind of park. Because that's literally the main thing we have to do here. Because we're starting to get we're getting close to the end, and at least that's the thoughts here. And of course I say that, and I feel like I hardly get stuff done sometimes. And but we're doing our best. We're doing our best. So we're gonna go through here and just get these trees filled in a little bit more. You want to fill these spots in. You can't go wrong with the oak trees. That will fill in some spots for you. Always does. And these trees are nice little fillers as well. You have a couple different sizes as well for these. And they look pretty good. Yeah, alright. Let's see. Let's get some more birch trees around this area. Now if I zoom out a little bit, you can really see just placing the rest of those trees around really just kind of completes, you know, the area quite a bit. And it's insane how much, you know, how that works. All right, so I'm going to go into the terrain, and I'm going to lightly go into painting here. Turn some intensity down. I'm going to kind of get that green shade back in here because it's a little bit too much like that. I'm going to go throughout here and just kind of green this out a little bit more. Because when I was doing early planning for the park, I actually went around and painted the entire area that I was kind of planning for the path areas to go. And I kind of want to keep it kind of like it's still there, but like construction happened, but I still want to make it look a little bit more natural with the greens. Like that. So as you can see, Westwood's looking a lot more complete now. The dark ride is starting to come along together, which is good. It's not perfect, not perfect at all. Not where I want it to be, which is kind of an issue for me. Like it really does bug. It does bug me quite a bit of that it's not where I want it to be. But that sometimes happens, and you just gotta keep persevering and not give up on it. That's gonna be kind of my goal here, is I'm not gonna try and give up on it, and we're just gonna try and keep moving forward. So I'm gonna create the rest of the queue line here. I'm gonna have it indoors as well. Kind of like in this section. I'll have an opening there. But let's see if I put this on the ground. Yeah, that will work. I can actually use this as a ground piece so I can get rid of the grass on the inside easier. It'll just make it a lot nicer overall on the inside pieces here. as we have the entrance right there for the dark ride. Man, you can just see the park coming together. I'm very excited of how this is going. Just because, you know, my main purpose today was trying to get this area to look a little more complete and complete more parts of it. That's kind of like my goal here. And these pathways purposes are literally just to get you kind of around the park. They're not going to have a lot around them, like shops and stuff. They're literally just there to kind of cut, you know, across rather than going all the way around. I want to make sure those pathways were kind of there, and so guests can kind of access, you know, more of the park in a little bit quicker fashion, if that makes sense. But here we go, and we have the massive Iron Ghost, of course, which looks absolutely breathtaking, especially on like ultra graphics. I've actually taken a look at ultra graphics and the park, and it looks so cool. It looks so good. Right now I'm running on lowest graphics. The game still looks pretty awesome on low graphics as well. But I'm on lowest, so I can make it the easiest for building wise. Otherwise, it kind of gets hard to build when, you know, the frame rate is just so crappy that you can't do anything pretty much, and we don't want that, so we're on the lowest settings. And it's actually running still pretty smooth, surprisingly, because a lot of people are probably mostly think that you know, you have so many trees and stuff that your game's just going to completely lag out. Now, granted, the live stream is lagging out quite a bit, but my game is not. I don't know what the deal is with the live stream. Maybe it's too much for the live stream to render. I don't exactly know, but for me, it's working just fine. So that's perfectly okay then. Because once you get to the cinematic stuff, it's going to look like gold. At least that's what I'm hoping. I've actually been working on some teasers for this quite a bit lately, and I hope they will be out fairly quickly. I'm actually having Sapphire Jess, I think I mentioned this before, but I'm having Sapphire Jess work on some of the ride logos and the logo for the park and all that stuff. It's going to be really cool. You guys aren't going to want to miss the cinematic stuff on this park, because I'm very excited for it, and I hope it turns out the way I'm hoping, and I hope you guys will enjoy each and every second of it, because lots of hard work has gone into this park, and I'm very excited to move forward after this park, because I have a lot more stuff planned for this park, and you know, and down the future and down the line, I have more planned as well. And I was actually half tempted to go in and actually possibly make a parking lot in this area right here that's wide open. I thought that would be kind of a neat idea, but at the same time, I could either put a parking lot there or leave it for a future expansion for the park, and that's kind of another option. I don't exactly know which one I'm going to do at this point, but that's going to be something like that. Over here, I'm undecided yet if I want to put a parking lot here. But if I do, I think it would be really cool, because it just adds a little bit, an extra realism aspect to the park, which is really, really cool. Which would be really, 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 really cool. Alright, so I'm going to finally fill this spot in. I'm not going to put any more shops. I'm just going to fill the area in rather than actually do anything with it, because we already have a shop there, and I don't want to overwhelm the park with too many shops. So we're at the parts where we're literally trying to fill just the park in, and then we'll have to start going into some detailing as well. Some of the minor stuff, like the minor detailings that we still need to work on, such as, you know, just like, you know, areas where that doesn't have fences yet, things like that still need to be kind of worked on and just kind of touched up. Stuff that's still kind of missing in the park. And we will get to that. But my prior goal, or my goal for this episode, is literally to get everything filled in. Everything's going to be filled in. That is the ultimate goal here. Alright, so we're going to go in here, place some bushes, a couple of trees. Alright, that's looking quite nice, quite good. And that is the point, is that everything looks spick and span and nice and fantastic. I just love seeing it zoomed out. It's just like, wow, I built this park. You know, it's taken, 34 episodes to get to this point, and it's absolutely incredible. How many buildings we've built, how many rides we've built, and all the hard work that goes into something like this. It's absolutely breathtaking that I have stuck with a park this long to actually, get all these details down for a lot of these sections. And, there's still some very minor detail stuff left to do. And by no means are we done with this. We still have probably what we're pretty much moving forward in the future now is actually we're going to be looking into getting into the the detailing episodes, and that's pretty much what's going to be next for the next couple episodes, is detailing the park. And what I'm going to be doing for that is I'm going to start from the beginning, and I'm going to go in, touch some stuff up, and give this building a name, things like that, and finish this building that I never actually finished building. It was actually one of the first episodes as well where I actually started building it. So just little things like that we're going to go through, and I'm not going to move on to the next section until something's fully detailed, and then we move on to the next section. So then, after I get done with the square, I'll move on to Westwood Shores, and I'm going to be detailing the rest of the stuff over here as much as I can, what needs to be detailed still. And we're just going to move down the line, and that's going to be what's left. Is we're going to move down, go into different sections, each section, detail it fully, completed, done, and then we'll move on to the next section. And then once we get all the way through the park, everything will be completed and finished. So I'm very, very excited for that, because there's not going to be a whole lot to do. I mean, there's still going to be obviously a considerable amount, because the main thing that still needs work obviously is the dark ride, which I tried to work on quite a bit today. That was my main focus for this episode and this live stream, was to try and get some main stuff done for the dark ride. And I'm going to be back and forth off and on that project, because it's an important ride, because it's going to excite people, and a lot of people are really looking forward to that final product, and I needed to go back to it, and it was very important that I get that done. So anyways, let's go back to park management here, staff. Let's see, let's go all staff here. And let's see, we're going to make sure everyone is making the correct amount of cash and are trained. I guess I have a couple here that I never gave raises to. I want to make sure everyone's nice and happy and trained. There we go. These are all vendors, by the way. I haven't added any mechanics or anything like that yet as well, so it's quite an interesting thing. So everything's starting to look good. There needs to be a little bit extra details in the invention company, which, surprisingly enough, didn't have a whole lot to it just yet, and it's not shaping up too bad, but it could use a little bit of extra stuff to it. Like I said, it was going to have quite a few rides to it, but it actually doesn't have that many at the moment, and which is okay, because I was expecting to do a little bit more with it, but I actually like the way it's turned out so far. I'm actually very excited for that. Now I kind of want to keep the trees to a minimal right here so people can kind of get a good view of the coaster. I'm still going to put quite a few in here, I just want to make sure people can still see the ride. So we're just going to go in here and place a couple birch trees. There we go. But, yeah. But anyways, I think that's going to go ahead and do it for this episode. We did make some progress on the dark ride, and not as much progress as I had hoped, but we still made progress on it, and hopefully that's going to turn out the way we want it. I'm going to go in full detail and try and really crunch down on that and get to working on it, because it's starting to become a little more of a bother to me more than anything, because the way I've built it is just very inaccurate and very inconsistent, and it just hasn't been a great way of building a dark ride, so I've really messed up. But I've learned a lot on dark rides just with this experience, and hopefully it'll make me better at making dark rides and in the future, so that I can actually fix on that a little bit more myself. So as you can see, the park is starting to be very well developed at this point, and I'm very excited. I hope you guys are excited for it as well. It's going to be a fantastic park, and here's to the final couple episodes that are coming up left, and we're definitely in the home stretch, and I'm very excited to share this park with you guys down the line. So anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe for more for more content like this. And if you guys want merchandise, I also have merchandise, link in the description for JLW Games merchandise. If you guys want to check that out as well, it is something that is recent, so I'm going to be mentioning it in, of course, some of my newer videos. So anyways, thank you guys so much. Make sure you have a great day and an even cooler tomorrow. Thanks so much, and goodbye.